Hello students, this is Uttkarsh, Bharghava. In this lecture, I'm going to start with the unit number 3rd of Indian Economic Development of Class 11th Economics. Guys, unit 3rd is a very big unit. It contains almost 7 chapters. I told you about the variation of chapters in the beginning of IED in my introductory lecture. This unit is all about the current issues in India and the priority areas in India. Means the areas in which we should focus upon. The first chapter which I'm going to start with is the human capital formation. In so many textbooks, the first chapter is not human capital formation. It may be second or maybe third. In some books, the first chapter is poverty. So we'll continue with the poverty with the second or third chapter, but our first chapter is going to be human capital formation. So first of all, what is this human capital? A very you can say casual term which is more oftenly used by the people, but you may be unaware of the meaning of human capital. First of all, so many students of ours who belongs to commerce stream may be familiar with the term capital. We often use the word capital to present money. And when I ask this question in my live sessions, what do you understand by the term capital? So what usually students reply is, sir, money. So property, so building. So they often reply me like this. But human capital is beyond that. It is not the capital you have or the physical asset you have. Guys, all the examples which I have just given you are considered as the physical capital, the physical assets you have. Like the property, the jewelry, the cash, the car, means things like this. So the thing is this, that human capital is those intangible things which we contain in ourselves. So human capital is all about our knowledge, our talent, our expertise, our skills, things like this. This is what is human capital. And the formation of such stock is known as the human capital formation. You must be wondering that who basically start building the human capital? Means who has this responsibility to build the human capital in the economy? So the answer is the basic responsibility to build the human capital is of government. So let us take a look at the definition of human capital first. What is the definition? Human capital refers to the stock of skills, abilities, expertise, education, knowledge, etc. in a nation at a point of time. Means एक nation में एक particular point of time पर जितनी भी लोगों के अंदर knowledge है, talent है, expertise है, skills है, उनको हम नाम देते हैं human capital. Human capital formation is the process of adding to the stock of human capital over a period of time. कि एक पीरियड में जितना भी आपने अपनी इकोनॉमी में ह्यूमन कैपिटल बिल्ड किया, उसे आप नाम देते हैं ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन का. नाउ जैसा मैंने बोला कि किसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, ऑफ कोर्स ये प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है गवर्नमेंट की. एक इकोनॉमी में ये गवर्नमेंट का ही तो रोल है कि वो अपनी इकोनॉमी में कैसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज डिलीवर कर रहे हैं। जस्ट इमेजिन कि अगर आपकी इकोनॉमी में अच्छे स्कूल्स ना हो या स्कूल्स बहुत कम हो, अच्छी हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज ना हो, लोगों के पास रिसोर्सेज ना हो अपनी स्किल को एनहेंस करने के, देन तो उस इकोनॉमी में ह्यूमन कैपिटल बिल्ड नहीं हो पाएगा। गाइस, आपको ये वाली बात समझ में आनी चाहिए। हमने एनसीईआरटी ऑफ क्लास 10th में हमने इसके बारे में बातें करी हैं, that there is an economy that there is an economy in which there are almost no resources but have a very good human capital. Excuse me. On the other hand, an economy having abundance of resources but lack of human capital. Guys, एक ऐसी इकोनॉमी जिसके पास रिसोर्सेस बहुत ज्यादा हैं बट दे डजंट हैव गुड ह्यूमन कैपिटल, इन दैट केस उन रिसोर्सेस के होने का भी कोई फायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि उसे इस्तेमाल कैसे करना है। एंड देयर इज एन इकोनॉमी हु हैज लैक ऑफ रिसोर्सेस बट वेरी गुड ह्यूमन कैपिटल। मैंने जो दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स बोली, इन दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स के परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल इस अर्थ पे एग्जिस्ट करते हैं। देयर इज वन इकोनॉमी जिसमें नेचुरल कैलामिटी बहुत ज्यादा कैजुअल है। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट जापान। I hope that you guys are aware of this thing, that in Japan earthquakes are so frequent. In such case, people do not invest money. They do not invest much money on building their physical assets. Then where they invest their money? To build the human capital. Instead of, after having almost no resource, they are considered as a developed economy. On the other hand, there is an economy who has abundant resources but again lack of human capital and still considered as a developing economy. The answer is there is an economy. You are aware of that economy, that is Brazil. So and Latin America also. So in the Latin American countries, resources are so many, but people doesn't have any good human capital. So the thing is this. Now the statement over here is that human capital is very much different from physical capital. How? In what manner? Guys, physical capital is absolutely different thing. First of all, the very big difference is that physical capital is tangible, whereas human capital is intangible. Only you can feel it. Yes, this guy is talented. Yes, this guy is literate. Yes, this guy is knowledgeable. You can feel this thing. But physical capital is tangible. You can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it. So physical capital includes all those tangible inputs which are required for further production, like land, machinery, building, etc. So everything which can be seen, everything which can be used for further production are known as the physical capital. And again, I hope that I am successful in creating that difference in your mind, that how physical capital is different from the human capital. And yes, investing in human capital is always a good decision. Now, sources of human capital formation. I told you this thing, that this is the primary objective of every government, to spend money to build human capital. If you are investing money in making big buildings, highways, canals, dams, they'll be useless if you don't have good human capital. You're making big buildings, a very rich infrastructure, but the population of your economy is not literate enough. Then what is the use to build big buildings? So the government should focus on this capital formation. Now how they can do this? So let us take a look at those points, that how they can build good human capital one by one. So the first point, you know this thing very well, it is the expenditure on health. In our government, they constantly, periodically launches so many schemes like vaccination schemes and polio schemes and schemes like this, which are focusing upon the maintenance of the health status of the society. So if the government is spending money on health, then that would increase the health status of our society. Now, how would this thing deliver to the economy? Of course, if the health status of the society is good, in that case, they will fall sick not very often or very occasionally. In that case, they can put their 100% whenever they're at their working areas. So that would, of course, contribute positively to your economic activities. So take a look what is written. Expenditure on health makes a man more efficient and more productive, due to which its contribution in the production process tends to rise. This expenditure on health is an important determinant of human capital formation. So if somebody is healthy, then no doubt he can contribute more efficiently, more productively in the production process. Now, next thing, apart from health, though health is a very important determinant, but apart from health, the second thing which I'm going to talk about is, again, in the present time, really very important thing to focus upon. That is the expenditure on education. If the government is not spending money on education, in that case, again, everything is useless. If your population is not literate enough to understand what is going around, their adaptability, their observation power would be, we'll say, almost nil. So everything comes with the education. So expenditure on education excuse me, education is an important source of human capital formation because it generates technical skills, tends to bring down birth rate, increase social benefits, increases innovations, etc. If I talk about the literate population, there are a lot of benefits of the literate population. Everybody knows this thing, that how to maintain their standard of living means they will understand their moral duties, like they will not litter in the open areas, they'll keep the surroundings ज़्यादा साफ सफाई रखेंगे, अपनी सोसाइटी को ज़्यादा अच्छे से मेंटेन करके रखेंगे, and of course their social outlook will be different. So expenditure on health will surely create good human capital. Third point is expenditure on on-the-job training. What is this on-the-job training? Guys, on-the-job training means when the government is investing money or telling their companies to please give the training session in the initial phase to each and every employee so that they can contribute more efficiently in their business. Guys, the thing is this, that there are two types of training. I hope my commerce students knows about this thing. The one is on the job and another one is off the job training. On the job training is like you're employed, you got the job, you're selected for a job. And before starting up with the job, your company, your employer, is giving you a training session so that there will be less chances of errors, there will be less chances of mistakes, there will be more chances of productive work and the more efficient work. The thing is this, that the expenditure done by your company on your training will outweigh the benefits which they are going to get from you when you will work more efficiently. From this perspective, they do this thing. This was the example of on-the-job training. What is this? That off-the-job training. Off-the-job training is like you're not employed, but somewhere from an institution you are getting the training of a particular profession. You are acquiring some skills, like if you students are aware of with Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, popularly known as Skill India campaign. There are institutions which are opened by the government of India to build the skilled population, especially in the rural areas as well as in the urban areas, so that they can easily get an employment. So this is known as the off-the-job training, that just acquire the skill, then explore the market, search a job, get the job. Simple. So yes, the government is investing on both right now, on the job as well as off the job training. So on the job training helps workers to increase their specialized skills. It makes them more efficient and more productive. So yes, the workers are getting engaged in these kind of activities, which makes them, of course, more productive. Firms organize on-the-job training programs which leads to high returns in respect of cost of training. That the cost of training is really very high, we know this thing. Means you are just teaching someone how to work. And in return, that guy is not giving you anything back. So yes, it contains some cost. So how is this thing beneficial? Of course, in future, when that guy will work for you, then surely it will gonna give it back to the company in a more productive manner. Then, fourth point, study programs for adults. What is this point? For adults means what? we know this thing that in Indian rural areas, a very high population is there. That population is not literate and they are hesitating in going to schools. So in that case, to make them literate, what we do, with the help of schools, with the help of NGOs, we make them literate so that they can also contribute in the economic activities. This is happening under the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. People are getting engaged in such kind of educational programs. So, what is written? Formal education at secondary, senior secondary, and university level. The government and NGOs organize study programs for adults to encourage them to get more and more education so that they can perform efficiently in their working areas. So the thing is this, that even these days, who are working in a very low paid job, they got enrolled in the distant education program through which side by side they are getting the education, and in their current profession they are regularly getting the increments and the promotion just because of the level of education they are constantly getting. So in that case, that would be of course beneficial for only your economy. Fine. Now, this thing is what study programs for adults, कि ये आप ही की इकोनॉमी की जो पब्लिक है, बच्चों को आप पढ़ा रहे हैं, that's a good thing. But again, बड़े लोगों को भी आप पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो उससे और भी ज़्यादा आपकी इकोनॉमी प्रोडक्टिव होगी. Now, the next fifth point is migration. You must be wondering why migration, or how migration will benefit the economy, how benefit the human capital, and how it can build the human capital in our economy. You must be wondering this. The thing is this, guys, just give a thought in your mind. कब एक इंडिविजुअल खुद को माइग्रेट करने के बारे में सोचता है? An individual will try to migrate only when it is beneficial for him or her, that they are gonna get some good returns. They're gonna get some good opportunities, maybe some nice standard of living, or like that. Now the thing is this, that if somebody is migrating from one to another place, for the very best example, let's take from rural to urban. If the people are getting migrated from rural to urban, in that case, of course, they'll get good opportunities, maybe handsome income, and that would increase their social status, health status, their social outlook, and so many things will get changed by time. So migration is a good thing. It builds the human capital. So what is written? People sometimes migrate from one place to another in search of better employment opportunities. The enhanced earnings overweight the cost of migration. इस स्टेटमेंट का क्या मतलब हुआ कि जो बढ़ी हुई earnings हैं, that will overweight the cost of migration. And please don't consider this cost of migration as the cost of the railway ticket or the flight ticket जो मेरे को पे करना पड़ा उस एरिया में आने के लिए. No. The cost of migration is beyond that. What you were working before the migration, you're compromising that thing also. and that value which you could have earned is also considered as the cost of migration, which you were earning. Now regularly you are compromising that amount just to get good opportunities, just to get good income. So cost of migration is a very big thing, and surely if somebody is migrating to a metropolitan city or an urban area, that will mostly that will overweight the cost of migration. So expenditure on migration is also a source of capital formation. Fine. Now, migration will build the human capital. You know this thing that sometimes people who are not getting good opportunities in your country, they migrate to some other country. If I specifically focus upon their human capital, it will surely enhance in most of the times, in most of the case. But that thing is not beneficial for our economy, right? Because brain drain is a very big issue. When people migrate from one country to another, so that means that that individual who got his all the skills, his health status, his knowledge, his education, now when it was his turn to pay back to the economy, he went away to some other economy. So brain drain is a very big issue. So over here I'm talking about the migration inside the economy from one to another place, but not outside the economy, because that isn't good for our economy at all. So the next topic is role of human capital formation in economic growth. Now, what is the role of human capital formation in economic growth? Of course, it has its own benefits. A lot of benefits. What is the point? The first point is what? It raises production. The human capital formation raises the production level to some other extent. How? Knowledgeable and skilled workers can make better use of resources. If the worker is knowledgeable, if he is skilled, he can surely make better use of resources. You know this thing very well, that the one who is knowledgeable, the one who knows the science, can make use of any resource. That is why the more curious people saves a lot of junk in their house, because they know that whenever it is required, they can make anything from that junk. Now, an educated and trained person can apply his knowledge in his working areas to increase production. So the one who is educated can apply his knowledge, his talent, his skills to their working areas, and of course it will benefit not only the firm but the economy as well. In the same way, a healthy person contributes efficiently to the production process. So if a person is healthy, तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस पे बहुत अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूट करके देगा, क्योंकि if you are healthy enough, again the less you will fall sick and you can contribute more to the production process. Fine. So again, a healthy person can easily contribute. Then second is improves quality of life. A very genuine point. If the human capital is good in an economy, then it will not only enhance the quality of life of an individual, it will tend to enhance the quality of life of the whole society. पूरी society की quality of life कहीं ना कहीं enhance होगी उससे. So, ultimately from the whole society to the whole state, and from the whole state to the whole country. So what is return? Quality of life is indicated by income, health, education, etc. That how much income you are earning, how healthy you are, how much educated you are. Such kind of thing decides the quality of life. Income and health depends upon health facilities. And skill formation acquired by a person means आपकी इनकम और आपकी हेल्थ डिपेंड करती है किन दो बातों पे, कि आपकी इकोनॉमी में हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज कैसी हैं, वन, और दूसरा कि आपने कितनी स्किल्स एक्वायर करी हैं. इन बातों पे आपकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ डिपेंड करती है. और देखा जाए तो बड़ी नॉमिनल सी बात है, आपकी हेल्थ कैसी है और आपका टैलेंट, आपकी नॉलेज कैसी है. यही तो वो बातें जो आपकी लाइफ को कहीं ना कहीं शेप कर रही हैं. आप कैसे स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग जी रहे हैं. Thus human capital leads to better living. कि अगर अच्छा ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन होगा इकोनॉमी के अंदर, तो आपकी स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग भी बहुत अच्छी ही होगी. सिंपल. देन थर्ड पॉइंट, रेजेस लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी. जो लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगी आपकी. What does it means? Guys, if you are healthy enough, अगर आपको पता है कि what I should eat, what I should not eat, what are the precautions I should care about, you will be more conscious about your eating pattern, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You'll be more conscious because you know the consequences of eating everything. So, if you are literate enough to understand the things, of course your life expectancy would be higher, that you'll live long. So, raises life expectancy. Good human capital raises the life expectancy. Formation of human capital raises life expectancy. कि कहीं ना कहीं उससे लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी को बहुत बढ़ा देता है. This includes both long life and a healthy life, which adds to the quality of life. Simple. Fine. So this is the thing. Then next, if you are living a healthy life, if you are conscious enough, if you are knowledgeable enough, then the fourth point is, of course, it will happen with you also. ये आपके साथ भी होगा. What is the point? Innovative skills. Look, if you are healthy enough, if you are literate enough, if you are skilled enough, तो कहीं ना कहीं innovations होंगी. Innovations का मतलब कुछ नया इन्वेंट करेंगे आप, या पुराने को ही इस्तेमाल करने का एक नया तरीका खोज निकालेंगे आप. सो एक ऐसी इकोनॉमी जिसके पास अच्छा ह्यूमन कैपिटल ही नहीं है, क्या उसका ये कर पाना पॉसिबल होगा? नॉट एट ऑल, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. तो एक इकोनॉमी जिसके पास अच्छी इनोवेटिव स्किल्स हैं, एक अच्छी ह्यूमन कैपिटल है, कहीं ना कहीं उसमें इनोवेशंस, इन्वेंशंस सबसे ज्यादा होंगी. लाइक अगर मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल आपके साथ शेयर करूं, विच कंट्री हैज द हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ नोबेल प्राइज? द आंसर इज USA. India has only 12-13 Nobel Prize, whereas USA has more than 300 Nobel Prize. A Nobel Prize are basically given when you deliver something new in your field. So you can call it an invention and an outstanding work, you can say. So all these things comes with the good human capital. Means if you have given good human capital, then surely there will be more inventions. So innovative skills. Human capital formation facilitates the use and the growth of innovative skills. Larger the number of skilled and trained population, so जितने ज़्यादा आपकी इकोनॉमी में skilled और trained population होगी, higher will be the possibilities of innovation. उतने ज़्यादा chances किसके होंगे? Innovations के, inventions के आपकी इकोनॉमी के अंदर. Like कभी आपने ये वाली बात नोटिस करी है कि जापान में इतने इन्वेंशंस क्यों होते हैं? यस, देखा जाए तो जापान इज द हब ऑफ इन्वेंशन. आज की अगर मैं इंटरनेशनल मार्केट की बात करूं तो कंपनीज का क्या पैटर्न है? इफ दे वांट टू डेवलप एनी न्यू थिंग, इफ दे वांट टू इन्वेंट एनी न्यू थिंग, they go to Japan, and when they got this thing, that what they have to produce, when the invention is done in the Japan, then they go to China to produce that thing, because production is extremely cheaper in China. What does this thing is presenting? मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एक बात बोली guys, that Japan has almost no resource with them. क्योंकि जो भी रिसोर्स है उनके पास, वो अर्थक्वेक एंड देन सुनामीज वगैरह वहां पे बड़ा कैजुअली चलता रहता है, ये सब वो सब अपने साथ ले जाता है. बट दे कैन नॉट टेक द नॉलेज, द स्किल्स विच द पीपल हैव. अर्थक्वेक में, सुनामी में उनकी वेल्थ जा सकती है कि कार, उनकी प्रॉपर्टी, उनकी ज्वेलरी, लेकिन उनकी नॉलेज, उनकी स्किल्स वो तो नहीं जा सकती. अगर वो जिंदा रहे तो बिल्कुल वो आगे इनोवेशंस करते रहेंगे, इन्वेंशंस करते रहेंगे. तो लोग इन्वेंशन करवाते हैं वहां पर, और आगे प्रोडक्शन कहां पर होती है? चाइना में. फाइन. जो हमारे नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है गाइस, दैट इज अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच यू आर फेसिंग इन ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन. इंडिया में जो कुछ बेसिक इश्यूज हैं, लाइक अगर मैं इसका एक ओवरव्यू दे देता हूं. हमारी इकोनॉमी में पॉपुलेशन इतनी ज्यादा है, सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम यही है. पॉपुलेशन इतनी बड़ी है हमारी इकोनॉमी के अंदर कि ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्म करते करते बहुत ही टाइम निकल जाता है. अगेन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड किया तो लोग बहुत ज्यादा इकट्ठे हो गए. एक हमने स्कूल ओपन किया, स्कूल की कैपेसिटी 800 बच्चों की है, लेकिन जो पॉपुलेशन उसमें इकट्ठी हो गई है वो है 2000. तो पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा यानी कि ओवर क्राउडिंग होने की वजह से हमें इकोनॉमी में बहुत प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ती है ह्यूमन कैपिटल को बिल्ड करने में, बिकॉज द साइज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इज extremely higher. Then similarly brain drain. I recently discussed about the concept of brain drain. When the person is working over here, he got education over here, he got the good health over here, but now he is leaving the country just to get good opportunities in some foreign economy. So in that case, he is not delivering in our economy. It's not a good symbol at all, as far as human capital formation is concerned. The third point, as you can see, is the insufficient manpower planning. A lot of people are roaming around us unemployed. They are begging in the streets and they are just sitting unemployed, presenting what? That we don't have good manpower planning. People in our economy, if they are unemployed, then this is the failure of our system. We should not forget this thing, that there is one more economy who's more populated than us. India is the second largest populated country in the world. So there is someone who has larger population than us, that is China. In China, poverty is just very less. But in India, it's really very high. What's the reason? The production level, the industrial sector. The industrial sector in China is extremely high, but in India it is extremely low. We should promote the industrial sector so that more people get employment. We should promote the agriculture sector in such a manner that should decrease the disguised unemployment and promote the level of employment in the agriculture sector. Then one more point is there, that is the insufficient on the job training in the primary sector. Have you ever given a thought on this thing, that agriculture sector is also a very good occupation from the economic point of view, from the earnings point of view? It's a really very good occupation. But the thing is this, that lots of farmers don't know that how to produce efficiently, because they are just moving ahead with the conventional things. What that farmer has learned from his surrounding, from his father or grandfather who were also the farmer, what they have learned from their elders in the family, from their surroundings, they're just applying that thing in the farming, which is not efficient enough to produce to some higher level. If you know this thing, guys, that in USA, the farmers, I won't say the farmers are extremely rich, but yes, the farmers are very wealthy. You should know this thing, that in USA and even in Australia, almost not every farmer, but most of the farmers have their own plane, a small plane, so that they can monitor their farms. Fine. Thing is this, that yes, farming is a very good occupation from the earnings point of view, but in India the status of farmers is extremely low, because they don't get enough opportunities, they don't get enough knowledge, they don't get enough information from the market. And I should say that this is the responsibility of the government to make them aware. So there is insufficient on the job training. On the job training का मतलब मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आपको बताया, guys. If you can teach the farmers that how to produce, what to use, what don't to use, how much to use. If you're using this fertilizer, this pesticides, this insecticide, then that is the right volume as per your land. And this is the amount in which you can use your fertilizers and all. So this is the primary responsibility of the government or the government institutions who are monitoring this agriculture sector, to make the farmers aware about such kind of things. I should say that yes, the government is making some policies or programs or taking few steps in respect to this, but we don't think that they are good enough, because still the farmers are dying, still the farmers are making suicides. This is the symbol of only one thing, that yes, even now the status of farmers are extremely poor, just because they don't get the good opportunities. Fine. So these were the problems. We'll talk about more problems in the next video, guys. Till then, you just think about more and more problems of the human capital formation. There are so many topics which we are left with in this. So we'll catch you in the next video, guys. Till then, keep revising. I know it's a really very good topic. So study hard, take care of yourself. Just make good human capital in you, as I told you in this chapter. जितनी ज़्यादा हो सके अपने अंदर अच्छी स्किल्स एक्वायर करें, अच्छा टैलेंट अपना नरिश करें, अच्छी एजुकेशन ले, और एजुकेशन के लिए हम हैं ही आपके पास. So catch you all in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself, guys. Thank you so much.